What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Richawd back with another video. Now, I've been having this pending thought in my mind, recently. Is there any hope left in love? Is there any hope left in relationships? You know, I was with a friend the other day, and we were talking, just kind of having guy talk. You know how guys are. We get to talking about life and females and all these things. And this guy was telling me about a friend of mine was telling me about the girls that he's dealing with right now. He has a rotation of females. That seems to have become the norm. You know, and even though he had this rotation of females, he still wasn't happy. With the whole situation. It still wasn't. It still isn't what he wants it to be yet. Uh, really, what he really wanted, and the reason why I know this is because he kept bringing Shorty up, was his ex. He would talk about his ex, and he kind of talked about the good times that he had with her. They were a long term. They were together, all throughout high school. And it was one of those things where after high school, you know how after high school, you go to this college and she goes to this college, and it was one of those situations where his girlfriend wanted him to stay around her. She didn't want him to chase what he desired, because he was he was good at sports. He got a scholarship to play a sport. I'm not gonna say what sport it is, just I don't want to give out too much information, but he was good at sports, and he got a scholarship to play a sport, and he had options. It was many schools he could go to, and he went to his girlfriend, and he was excited about, you know, he was excited about the whole situation, and he was telling her about how he got a full ride and he's going to go D1 and everything is good. But to his surprise, she wasn't happy for him. He said that she felt that if he went off to school and he went D1, he would forget about her. She would lose him. So she ended up giving him an ultimatum. She said, you can either choose me or you can choose to play this sport. Crazy, isn't it? Think about it. Think about it. You work hard. You do good in a sport. You're one of the best in your school. You get scholarships and you get offers to go to schools all over the country. And instead of your girlfriend that you've been with all through high school, being happy to see you get these opportunities, instead of her thinking about how this is good for you, she thought about herself. She thought about how this would affect her. And she didn't care about this opportunity because I guess she just knows the nature of things. She knows how women are. She knows women is going to be flocking towards him. You're a D1 athlete. You're good at your sport. No Diddy. It wasn't an ugly dude. You know what I'm saying? So she kind of saw the writing on the wall, and she felt like it was almost a guarantee that once he gets a taste of that D1 college lifestyle, it's over for her. He's going to forget about her, or if he does stay with her, he's definitely going to cheat on her. And women, they just have this pride thing. They want to be the only one in your life, They want to be the only one in your life, and who knows? Who knows? He claimed to be faithful, who knows? You know what I'm saying? He claimed to be faithful, though. But you know how guys are, you know what I'm saying? It's always some loose ends somewhere, for the most part. So he may have had some loose ends here and there, even when he was dealing with her. But for the most part, she got most of his attention, majority of his attention. He said to this day, she's the best girl he ever had, And he's still not against getting back with this girl one day if the situation fits. But My point being, he's at a point now where he has a rotation of females, and it's not necessarily the rotation that he wants. None of them are really filling the void that his girl used to feel. Like they're just not her. You ever seen the meme, where his future surrounded by all these women and he looks disinterested, and it's like they just not her. All these women, but they're just not her. Because there's certain things, certain bonds that are built that, just being pretty can't replace. There's a lot of pretty females out there. And once you start getting your pick of the litter, you start to realize that, just a pretty face and a body isn't everything. You know what I'm saying? And, this guy had went through a situation where, because basically how he looks at it and how a lot of guys that move like this look at it when they have a rotation. It's a hierarchy in your rotation, right? And it's a lot of manipulation, it's a lot of deception, and it's a lot of lies. And you got to wonder, what makes a guy get to this point to where they treat women any type of way? He will admittedly say, I talk to these females any type of way. And these females allow it. He had females in his DMs begging for his love, telling him he loves them. And he would never tell them he loved them back, constantly stringing them along, constantly playing with their emotions. And it's like, he damn near doesn't even like them for real. He's not even showing that he really likes them for real. And they're chasing that validation. And you want to know the irony of it? He said, the reason why I don't respect a lot of these women in my rotation is because majority of these women have other dudes. Either they have other dudes and they're just dating and out here, mingling, single and mingling. Or he said there's many women that he dealt with. He actually said the majority of women that he's dealt with already had a boyfriend. And he said he's come to find out that it's actually easier having a female in your rotation that has a boyfriend because she's more cooperative. Right? Because when a female has a boyfriend, she's spending a lot of time with her boyfriend, So when you and her finally leak up, she doesn't have much time to play with, right? It's not like she's just out here playing the field. It's not like she's single, and she's just out here playing the field looking for something. No, she already has something at home. But for whatever reason, sometimes females, when they're going through it, they may be mad at their nigga, or they may feel like they nigga is cheating, or they may have found out they nigga is cheating. So what are they going to do? They're going to go cheat to make their ego feel better, And he said he's noticed that he has an easier time dealing with females that has a boyfriend. And he went on to tell me, like I said, it's just guy talk. You know how guys are. We just get to talking about, shit, so, and I'm a listener. So he was doing the majority of the talking. I was doing the majority of the listening. That's kind of how I've always been. I've always been that friend that's going to listen to you. I'm damn near your therapist. You know what I'm saying? And I could tell he just needed a lending ear. He just needed somebody to listen to his problems. And, I was there for him. No diddy. You feel me? So, he starts telling me about how, in a couple of weeks, he has this one girl that's in his rotation. She has a boyfriend. And, he met her through work. And, he's planning on linking up with her and bringing her back to the crib because he has his own crib. You know what I'm saying? He's around my age, maybe a little older, I think. And, he has a whole female with a boyfriend, She's telling her boyfriend I'm at work. Whole time she is at work. But he said what's going to happen is they're going to work. It's like this certain event that they work. And he said after work, he's going to take her back to the crib. They're going to meet at his crib, and Netflix and chill. Y'all know what happens next. She got a whole boyfriend, man. She got a whole boyfriend. And this is all coming during the time where I was like thinking, man, is there any hope left in love for me? Like, I was just thinking about for me, you know, like, is the bachelor life the only way right now? Because the irony of it is, he said, man, the irony of it, he said he lies to these females. He doesn't validate them, at least not consistently. He doesn't tell them he loves them. At least, you know, the ones that because it's a totem pole, right? You know, we break it down in basketball terms, right? You got your starting point guard. You know, the starting point guard, they run the show. You know, they're the facilitator. They're the floor general. You know what I'm saying? You got the shooting guard. They your reliable shooter. They help space the floor out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the point guard, you know, the point guard maybe get a double team, so they got to kick it out, you know? Then you got the small forward, you know, they're the old reliable, the bucket, you know? The point guard may have a sprained ankle or the shooting guard, you know, may have a herniated disc or whatever. But the small forward, they always there putting up buckets, ready to score, you know? You know, then you got your power forward, your center, you know. Those are the ones that you call when your point guard, your shooting guard, and your small forward, you know, they may need a load management day, you know. They may need some time off. So that's when you call your power forward and your center, you know. Usually power forwards and centers, like, they're not the most flashiest, you know. They don't have the most charismatic game, you know what I'm saying? But they get the job done. You know, they do all the dirty work, you know what I'm saying? And then you have your bench players, you know, who fill in for the starters from time to time. My guy had a whole rotation, bro. Starting five and a bench, you know? And there's a lot of dudes moving like this, and there's a lot of females moving like this. You hear this conversation a lot. My roster this, my roster that. And what I feel like has happened, I think most dudes, you really just want a solid female by your side for the most part, you know. I could tell, even though he had all these females orbiting around him and all these options, it still wasn't fulfilling for him. It still wasn't the same as his ex, you know, his ride or die, always by his side. Felt like he was going to be with her forever. Felt like he was going to marry her. And then he gets a D1 scholarship and, you know, he thinks everything is about to go well, you know. Because actually, I missed out a little detail. So when he got his D1 scholarship, they split up because she wanted him to choose between his sport and her. And obviously, he chose his sport, you know. But long story short, they end up getting back together down the line, you know. He was kind of down on his luck, you know. And she took him back during that time, you know. And then he said he got his stuff together, you know, got his own apartment, moved out of his parents' crib, and she left him. He didn't necessarily say she left him. He said it was mutual, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like it wasn't so much mutual. It was more so she kind of left him, you know, because the way he was talking about it, it sounded like he wished that they were still together, you know. And it just made me realize that a lot of guys enter the phase when you have a roster or you're kind of living a bachelor's lifestyle out of hurts. It's like a revenge thing. It's like an ego thing, you know, because you get this female and then you find out, or you see your ex. You see how your ex is moving after she left you. You hear about guys that she's dealing with, guys that you know about, you know. She's getting her body count up. You know, the girl that you thought was only yours. You know how guys are. You know how our ego are. You know, we want a female to be with us and with only us. And then you find out it's usually not that way, you know. Especially in these times where females are, you know, encouraged to go through a 304 phase. But what they don't understand is once you go through a 304 phase and you've been out here in these streets, dudes talk. Guys talk. Oh, you know her? Where you know her from? Man, a couple weeks ago, man, I seen her at the club, man. Took her back to the crib. Took her back to the crib? What you mean? Yeah, bro, she was giving me the Glock. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to get to it, you know. explicit, but I think many of guys, you've had a conversation, you've had a situation where you was dealing with what they call a BOP, a bop, a bust down. You thought she, and you know what's funny about these bust downs, bro? They come with the same story every time. Hey, for all y'all who may not know, let me put you on some game, man. Here's the bust down manual, bro. What they're gonna do, bro? They're gonna be like, you know, I've been celibate since my last relationship. I'm just looking for the right man. I'm not the type of girl to have my body all, this, that, and the third, I had a female tell me that, man, talking about she been celibate for a year, man. I find out, man, that was far from the truth. I'm hearing stories about this nigga that hit, that nigga that hit, that nigga that hit. But she telling me she been celibate for a year. It's these little manipulation games they try to play on you, man. To make you think they're innocent. You know what I'm saying? To trick you, But tricks are for kids. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids, head ass. But for real, tricks are for kids, man. Like, once you get to a certain age, you see through all the games, man. You see through all the deception, And I guess the point I'm making with this is we can't cry over spoiled milk, man. You may have heard that old phrase, You can't cry over spoiled milk. Because once the milk is spoiled, you can whine and you can complain about it, but you still can't drink that milk. If you drink that milk and that milk is spoiled, you're going to get sick. So we can cry about these females and how they're moving. And we can complain. But once you realize the milk is spoiled, my guy. You got to move on. You got to find some unspoiled milk, But I don't know. I've just kind of reached this point to where I feel like, I don't know, the relationship game is just kind of spoiled at this point, And it's almost like the only option we have left is to just play the game, It's to just play the game or be alone. But nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be a damn monk their whole life, All we can do is play the game now. These females aren't traditional. These females are going to lie about their body count. 9 times out of 10, if they tell you their body count was 2 or 3, it's way more than that. These females be playing little games, talking about, oh, this body don't count, that body don't count. A body is a body. But the games these females be playing, You just got to understand, we're in a different time now, Unfortunately, if a female looks good, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be the first one to taste the rainbow. All right. These females been getting the rainbow taste since middle school. Real talk. Real talk. Niggas been tasting the rainbow since middle school. So you just got to understand. And a lot of women don't understand this. They're like, oh, well, when guys do it, they get glorified. And when girls do it, here's the thing, man. And it's just how it is. A male, you're seen as more valuable the more females you knock down, because it is like a token of honor. It's like, damn, because the female is the one that has to give you permission. The female has to submit to you first. So if you're a man and you can get a bunch of females to submit to you, that shows you have some sort of value. But if you're a female and you're just submitting to a bunch of men, that shows that you have no value. You see how that works? Because you're the one who has to submit. So if you're just choosing to submit to anybody, anytime it can Harry, that looks that makes you a little warm and tingly down there, if that's all it takes, how valuable are you? Right? A man values a female on her loyalty, not how many men she can knock down. A woman values a man on his dominance, right? And knocking down a number of females shows dominance. Or it don't even have to be a bunch of females. When a female sees a man in a relationship, right, she values that man more because this is showing positive, healthy signs that this man is a good man. Females know females. Females know how hard it is for a man to get in a relationship with a female. Not only to hit the yams, not only to get in the draws, but to get in a relationship. So females know once a man is in a relationship with a female, he has some sort of value, right? He has some sort of value. And men kind of look at women kind of the same way, you know. This is why a lot of dudes go after females that already have boyfriends. Because if you have a boyfriend, you must be a valuable female. You must have some good, you know what I mean. You must have, you know, what that mouth do. You know what I mean? You know, YouTube friendly. You must have something valuable. Females think the same way, but the only problem is when men see you bouncing around, it lowers your value because now it's like, all right, you're easy, you know, and no man wants an easy female. No man wants a female that can just get taken from them like that because, man, we have a thing called an ego, right? And it destroys a man's ego. It destroys a man's pride when something that he felt belonged to him didn't. It belonged to the streets, right? Once you find out a female that you thought belonged to you, belonged to the streets, it's like you buy a house and you think it's your house. And then random motherfuckers is just walking through your house, in your refrigerator, using your toilet. You feel me? Eating up your food. You like, well, who the hell's all these niggas? You know what I'm saying? I thought this was my house. And they walking around like, Shorty let me in. Shorty gave me a key. You feel me? Like, you know, you ready to move out now. You got to go find you another property. Like, I can't get down like this. I can't just have all these niggas stepping and walking around what's mine, what I thought was mine. It's just how men think, bro. It's just how men think. So what I realized, you know, because I like to break down people psychologically. Like, why are they acting the way they act? And I feel like I've broken down my friends psychologically, and I've broken down a lot of men because I've heard this same story. All my male friends that are going through a what they call a 304 phase, they just out here running the streets. It's like a revenge phase, right? Because with the girl that they really cared about, they did everything right, and still it ended bad. This very dude told me he hates females, you know. And we get this narrative that, oh, it's just the incels that hate females. It's just the dudes that aren't getting women. This is a dude that has a whole rotation of females. And, you know, it may have been in jest. He may have been joking. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say it like super serious. We were like, you know, he's like, man, I hate you. You know what I'm saying? I hate you. You feel me? Can't stand these. You know what I'm saying? And this is a dude with a whole rotation of females. Can't stand them because really what he wants, he doesn't want to have a rotation, you know? He just wants a solid one. But he's gotten to a point to where he stopped crying over spoiled milk. He's realizing that most of the game is spoiled rotten. You're not going to find one that's for you. This is the best you can do. And hoping, praying that your starting point guard will stick around. You know, but what he's coming to find, usually the starting point guard, the prettiest, the finest, the one you want the most, she's the hardest to keep. He told me his starting point guard left him. She moved on. She cut him off because, you know, his starting point guard, it's crazy. It's a small world. Basically, one of his girls in his rotation found out about another girl in his rotation. You feel me? And then the one that he liked the most ended up leaving him, and the one that he didn't like the most ended up staying with him, right? So now he's treating the one that stayed like trash because he misses the one that left. Because the one that left, he was treating her like she the number one, like she the only one. He was lying to her. And then she found out and she left him. She found out and she left him. So here he is. He got all these females around him. I'm not going to say it's just a bunch, but it's, it's a handful. It's a rotation. That's better than most. That's better than the average dude out here. Most dudes don't got one female orbiting around him, let alone multiple. You feel me? You got multiple females orbiting around you, but they're not the females that you necessarily like, right? They're just something that you can get your rocks off to. They're just someone that you can take out, you can take outside. But then the irony of it, he said the majority of the females that he deal with, he don't want to take them outside. He don't want to be seen with them because he knows what they are. He knows what they are. He knows if his homies see him with that very female, what the homies is going to do. They going to clown you. They going to be like, you messing with that? Nigga, the whole team done had her. So he has to do everything in secrecy. He has to live a life full of lies, full of manipulation. And is it fulfilling? No. But I guess it's better than being alone. I guess it's better than having no females. So it's like, hey, chalk it up to the game. Charge it to the game. It is what it is. This one don't act right. Another one will. That's his mentality. That's how he moves. Same way I got this one, I can get another one. An abundance mindset. So back to my question. Is there any hope left in love? Right? In this society that we're in right now. I don't know. Is our best bet as men to just have a rotation of females around us? Because we all know at some point, one of the females is going to start acting up. So instead of when that female starts acting up, you're lonely and you're alone, you just go to the other female who, you've had on the back burner and she's begging for your attention and she's begging for you, the female who you're ignoring all her calls, you're ignoring all her messages and she keeps calling you, she keeps messaging you. There's females out there like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they be pretty too. They ain't busted up or nothing. It'd be females out here like that, begging for validation of dudes that ain't paying them no mind, man. That ain't paying them no mind. That ain't showing them no respect. It needs to be the very females. Ain't no good men out here. Oh, man. There's no good man out here. But you begging for validation of a dude who clearly doesn't care about you. Maybe you're just a poor picker. Maybe you just choose the worst of the pickings. Why are you choosing to continuously chase after a man that's showing he doesn't give a damn about you? That constantly lies to you and manipulates you, but they like that. I said a joke to him. I was like, man, it's almost like these females like when you lie to them. It's like, it seems like it's working for you, It's almost like when they come across a guy that can lie just as good as them, if not better, they feel like they met their match. They feel like they have a challenge now. Can I out-manipulate him? Can I out-lie him? Can I win him over? They want to win you over like your number one has won you over. It's a game. Females love winning. Females love a challenge. Sometimes the nice guy who's going to validate you and tell you you're beautiful from the start and tell you he loves you from the start, that's not a challenge. You already got him by the hand of your strings. But the guy who has options and good options at that, oh, that's the guy that they want to chase because that guy's a challenge. I can fix him. I can change him, they said. I can fix him, she said. And she ends up never fixing him. She ends up on social media talking about ain't no good men. She ends up on social media talking about single, ready to mingle. She ends up on social media, where all the good men at? She ends up on social media, I'm still waiting for my Valentine. Oh, man. You just got to laugh at it. It's hysterical. But that's the game. That is the raw game. They want what doesn't want them. I want a top percentage man. 6 feet tall, 12-inch Johnson, $2 million a month. I ain't settling for no broke Dusty. And then 2 years go by, 3 years go by, 4 years go by, 5 years go by. Oh, how's it going for you? Have you found that top 1%er? Oh, all these men, they just the same. They just all they want is my my punana. All men are the same. Ain't no good men out here. These men are trash. I'm in my hot girl era. F these Negroes. And the body count just goes up and 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 up. And before you know it, you got so many bodies, so many soul ties. Where no man in their right mind will wipe you up. The best you can do is a simp, a sucker. But nobody wants a simp and a sucker. So that's why a lot of these females, they be in relationships and they in a relationship with a simp and a sucker. Because all the real ninjas that they had in their past, they messed that up. They messed that up. All the good men that they had in the past, they messed that up. And they went around running the streets like the grass was greener. I don't know who is this calling me. I'm going to call them right back after this. That might be an important call. I don't know who that is. I don't recognize that number. But man, that just had me really thinking, man, that conversation I had with my homie, man. You know, it just really had me thinking, bro. Is this my fate, bro? And it really had me think because I want to have a family one day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I just got to give up on that in my 20s, you know? Because a lot of females, what does that say? Hi, this is from Lot Castle. Who the hell? I'm out. Motherfuckers talking crazy in the messages. I don't know who is Christina? This is Christina. Who the hell? Speaking of the devil, damn. But I don't know, man, because a lot of the females around my age group, they either want the finished product or they want an older man. Why do they go after older men? Because older men are the finished product. So they may be attracted to me. They may want to have some fun with me. But they don't want nothing serious because my bank account not fat. You know, Unks is really having their way with these younger females right now, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. They messing up the game, bro. My nigga, y'all supposed to be messing with females in y'all age group, my nigga. God damn. You got niggas 45, 50, messing with Johns 19, 20, 21. I'm like, shit. Man, these the joints in my age group. You messing up the game for the young niggas. But what's going on with the unks? They don't want the females they age, you know? The majority of the females they age done hit the wall or they got all these kids and, you know? And the younger females are easier for them, you know? It's crazy. Me at 23, if I'm messing with a female 22, I got to compete with niggas 15, 20 years older than me. How am I going to compete? How am I going to compete with a grown man who got all his shit together? I'm 23, still figuring shit out. How am I going to compete? So it's like a nigga best bet. Instead of crying over spoiled milk, instead of crying over, damn, all these females want the finished product. All these females want the top 1%. All these females want this. All these females want that. I can just play the game, man. Like my homies do. Manipulate, lie. Is that what it's come to? Do I have to lower myself to that just to get just to get like, you know what I'm saying? Some females around. Is that what it is? Are my standards too high? Am I looking for wifey during a time where you're not going to find wifey? You're just going to find some fun. Am I missing out on the fun by looking for wifey? Do I need to lower my level a little bit and just have some fun? Play some games. Lie, manipulate. Is that how it goes? Because it seems like all the dudes that are getting the females, they fit this archetype. Manipulators, liars, deceivers. I'm not perfect, but I usually try to keep it real with the females I mess with, bro. And maybe that's to my detriment. Maybe I'm too upfront. Maybe I'm too honest. I tell females what it is, what I want. I want to see you. Let's go on a date. You feel me? But the dude that's doing the bare minimum, and not barely answering her calls, not answering her messages, damn near not really paying her no mind for real. That's the dude who she's begging for his attention. That's the dude who she's crying about. The dude that don't even care about her. Do I care too much? Is that my problem, America? Does Richawd care too damn much? Am I too good for this dirty game? For this spoiled game? Am I trying to play by the rules in a game where there ain't no damn rules? You create your own rules. You do what you feel is right. If you got to tell a little white lie to keep her around, you tell the little white lie. Maybe my humility, my honesty, I ain't want to tell all the white lies. Maybe that's worked against me. But then I get hit with this dilemma, Is that really me? What do I mean, is that really me? The liar, the deceiver, the manipulator. I don't know. But it seems like all the dudes having their way. That's how they move. They lie, they deceive, they manipulate. You're the only one I'm dealing with, and you got 15 other females in your phone. But you're the only one I'm dealing with. I love you. I want to be with you forever, baby. You the only girl that been in this bed. You the only girl that been in this bed. Right. She like the 5th girl this week that been in the bed. But is that what it's come to? Are there any wives left? All the girls my age, they either going through their 304 phase or they done been through it. And now they trying to settle down. Now they celibate. Now they spiritual. Now they going to church. Now they a woman of God. Now they a woman of God. After niggas done ran through the yams like it ain't no tomorrow. Done butchered her womb. Done bruised that womb. She don't even walk. She walk with a limp now. Womb done been so bruised. And it seems like the dudes that they want are the 304s just like them. The liars, the deceivers, just like them. It's just a constant evolving game of lies, deception, and manipulation. Of makeup intercourse, So the more I touch grass, the more I go outside and see what's going on in these streets, the more I find out these streets ain't for the good-hearted. These streets ain't for the faint-hearted. This game ain't for the weak, man. There's no emotions tied in this game. It's all about narcissism. What do you want? All right. I want to keep this female around, but I also want these females as well. I like them too, Becky, Deshanta, Sasha, you know, Sarah, you know, they cool too. But Elizabeth, she my number one. But Elizabeth can't find out about Sarah, Deshante, and all them because then Elizabeth gonna leave me. So I gotta lie to Elizabeth. You feel me? So maybe I just haven't lied enough. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe this game just isn't built for the good-hearted men who want to do things right. You know, my homie, he wanted to do things right. He loved that girl, he said. He said to this day, that's the best girl he's had out of all the girls he's dealt with. But she gave him an ultimatum and said, you got to choose between playing a sport that you love and that you're good at and that you got a scholarship for, or staying home and staying around me, going to the same school that I go to, being close to me, being available for me. He said she would complain that he spent too much time with his friends. You know? She was clingy. She wanted all the attention on her. But a real man, you're not going to have all his undivided attention. He has to focus on his purpose. And my boy felt like his purpose was sports. That was his purpose at the time. That's what he cared. That was his main priority. And she hated that. She hated the fact that sports was his main priority and not her. But you know the irony of it? If he was to make her his main priority, like these simps make her, you see what I'm getting at? See, she don't want the simp because the simp makes her his main priority. But then at the same time, she gets with a man that puts his purpose first, and she wants that man to put her first. When the irony of it is, if that man was to put her first, she wouldn't like that man as much. She wouldn't respect that man as much. But she would be able to control that man. Is that what it's all about? Is it about control? Does she want to have her cake? Does she want to have a cake and eat it too? Or however the phrase goes? What J. Cole said, I want to have a cake. I want to have my cake and my own cake too, even if the baker don't bake like you. Something like that. So I'm back mobbing with the late night crew. My mind, that's true. Back of my mind is you. She my number one, I don't need nothing on the side. Tell them that I'm done for good and no more lies. But my phone be blowing up temptations on my line. I stare at the screen a while before I press decline. But I'm only human in my mind. Told myself I'm strong enough to shake it and I'm trying. If I take this cookie now, I swear I do the time. Send me a Zenny at once. I got the earth and the blunt. I get this girl when I want. Skirt. I get this girl when I want. Due to the money aroma. My girl, she got a diploma. Well, I think I made my point. I'll catch up with y'all later, man.